Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Business Builders. We're joined today with our virtual guest, Megan Postaleone, who is the social media manager at Priority Marketing. They are a full-service marketing, advertising, public relations, social media, and digital marketing firm with a reputation for achieving results. Today, Priority Marketing serves a diverse array of businesses, nonprofits, government agencies, and individuals throughout the U.S. with a comprehensive array of marketing services for almost 30 years. Megan, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me today.
I do want to give a big shout out. So recently, Priority Marketing, I believe, won 8 awards at the FPRA Southwest Florida Image Awards. So congratulations to that on you and your team, Megan.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a really exciting night.
Awesome. So Megan, if you would please introduce yourself to our listeners, tell us a little about yourself, who you are, what you do, what you like to do, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. So again, I'm Megan. I'm the social media manager at Priority Marketing. A little bit of background for me. I started out in the news business as a producer in Orlando, moved around the country a bit, worked as an event planner and media director in Seattle, and then landed over at Priority Marketing doing social media management for the team here. And it's definitely given me the opportunity to see a lot of the country, but also develop and grow my skills. And I think to be a good social media manager, you have to be a good writer. And that kind of blossomed from working in the news business and event planning and management and PR. So it all kind of came full circle. And I'm excited to be a part of this team.
Awesome. Well, we're definitely talking to the right person today because our topic is all about how to showcase your company culture through social media. I know one of the things we hear all the time at Southwest Florida Inc. from people is that they might not necessarily be sure of exactly what they should be posting on social media, as well as exactly how they should be posting it. So again, let's just kind of jump right in. What's some general advice that we can give people to how to showcase your company culture through social media?
Yes, showcasing your company culture is so important because it really gives that personal side of your company or your brand. And it's a way to connect more. And social media is meant to be social. And so you want to showcase your culture and not be too salesy. And one of the biggest things is following the 80-20 rule. When that rule is 80% of content should inform, educate, and entertain. 20% of content should directly promote your product. And so that's a huge portion of it that is just to inform and educate and entertain. And there's so many ways to really fill that space of your content that we'll kind of go into more a little bit about.
Yeah, could you give an example of what some of that 80% might be?
Well, I'm trying to think. Obviously you're trying to get more personal, which I guess is kind of my next talking point, but essentially getting personal, showcasing team spotlights, maybe whether it's a photo or a video or a graphic of what they do, who they are, what they like working at that company, spotlight maybe company and team members' achievements and awards, like you were sharing the FPRA awards. We were excited to share about that on our social media. It's a way to, congratulate your team, but also show credibility and build, show that you are a leader in your industry and an expert. Another great opportunity is showing volunteer opportunities when you're out with your team, or ways that you give back, sponsorships and events or organizations that you're a part of, networking and industry events as well. So the list really goes on, and it's about thinking the bigger picture. It's about not just saying, okay, what's our company sell or do? It's bigger than that. It's who we are. And so how can we show who we are through our social media?
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's also a great opportunity to really showcase your team as well and kind of the contributions that they're bringing not only to your company, but in turn to the clients that, are paying for your services or products and things like that.
Right, absolutely. You can showcase whether it's a specific project that they did and they were really excited about it and how they helped, find a solution for that client, whether it was a specific service or a product that you provided that they were really happy about. And it gives kind of a boost for your team as well, to give them kind of a shout out online. And it's a great way for you to show your appreciation for your team, but also then others to see that. And then that really, I think, speaks highly about the company as well, to show you appreciate your team.
And it's probably a really good opportunity to utilize video in that sense as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Video is huge. So whether you're doing, a video for YouTube or quick stories or even, Reels or TikTok, if you're on there, it's a great way to, again, like you could do a quick interview or say, hey, I'm Megan, I'm a social media manager at Priority Marketing. This is what I do. And you can do quick little 15-second clips, and it doesn't have to be long. I think that's the other thing that people, and it doesn't have to be like super edited. A lot of times people just want to see who you are. They want to get to know you, and even just quick videos can showcase that.
Yeah, no, definitely be able to kind of see the face behind the brand as well. I'm sure help builds trust between, a company and a consumer as well.
Absolutely. Another great way to get into the conversation that's going on around the world is connecting your company with relevant holidays or observances or trending news that's maybe not specific to your company, but like relevant or something that you could kind of jump in to be a part of that conversation. I do like to remind people, you don't have to post for every observance or every trending topic that you see online, but try to find something that you can share that connects and it just makes sense for your company. Because you don't have to jump on every trend to, join that conversation.
Right. Could you give us an example of something like that you've done at Priority Marketing for a specific holiday?
Yeah, even just recently, there's always some national holiday or fun trending topic. Most recently, we did an in-office Easter egg hunt as like a surprise for our team the Friday before Easter. And so some of our team members went around before everyone got into the office and they, hid eggs. And so what we did was we put together a fun reel, a video of someone going around and finding them and showing their experience. And even though it literally, has nothing to do with marketing or, our core, yes, our task and whatnot, but it's a way to engage with your audience, show them the fun side, again, represent and show your culture, show who you're about. And at Priority Marketing, our company culture is very important. Our team is very important. We try to celebrate them and bring light when we can, even just for quick little instances, as you're walking into the office and you see some, Easter eggs lying around. It's just a fun way to jump in there and then show it to our followers and fans online to say, this is just one way that we show and appreciate our team.
Yeah, no, definitely. Is there a struggle that you guys face when you talk about the specific tone or maybe the verbiage that you use? Because obviously, you want to sound professional, but you still, like you said, this whole conversation about being personal, right?
Right.
So how do you kind of maintain that balance?
Yeah, that's a great point, because a lot of times I think people forget in terms of like, you want to find a balance, like you said. Social media is meant to be social, though. It's not advertising. Like the language and the copy should still sound like your brand voice, but it should be more personal. You're going to write your copy like you're talking to your clients, you're talking to your fans or your followers of your page. I shared that, a good rule of thumb is to read out loud the copy you're writing for the post. If it doesn't sound conversational, it's not going to translate well on social media. So again, social media is meant to be social. And this includes responding to comments or direct messages on your platforms. It's important to always set up those auto replies, but make sure they're personal, but still professional and in your brand voice.
Yeah, I know this might sound funny to some, but what I like to do when I'm either going to be speaking or writing anything, I'll write it down once and then I'll wait maybe about 30 seconds to 5 minutes. I'll come back to it and then I'll actually read it out loud and I'll say, well, wait a second, that might have sounded right when I wrote it on paper, but when I'm actually saying out loud, like that's not how I would talk.
Yes.
So it's definitely a great example and a great tip there.
Yeah, always say it out loud. I think whether you're writing an email or you're doing a social media post, it's good to just take that moment, say it out loud. Does this translate out well? Because it's just like, email conversations or social media or direct messages, they don't always translate. And because you have, just a short amount of time to make an impact on someone with your copy, it's very crucial to make sure it is conversational and it does translate the way hope it would.
Right. I think the last tip we have on here essentially is to let others speak for you.
Yes. And so by this, I mean, it's a great way to essentially brag about your brand without bragging about your brand, right? You can create graphics sharing like actual testimonials from Google or Facebook, or ones that you maybe solicited for your website. And it's a way to showcase the great things about your company, to have positive comments and feedback, and to showcase that to your audience or maybe future, clients or fans of your page. Who you are, your core values usually speak pretty loudly on your testimonials, and to be able to have someone else come out and say, hey, this company is really outstanding. They do a wonderful job, with what they do. If you have someone else, people are more likely to follow your brand or trust you, and it continues to build that credibility, that trust. And you could even do like video testimonials, whether it's from a client or someone that has purchased your brand, a fan of your brand, or a testimonial from your team members about what they love about the company, or partners that you work with. So really, it's just about getting creative and thinking about who's in our network, who's in our community that could help maybe speak highly about our brand. And you don't have to necessarily go out reaching far, like for something like that. You could just go on your Google reviews, your Facebook reviews. Those assets are right there. So it's a great tool to just think about, I can take this, I can repurpose it, and it helps it really shows our company culture through their testimonial, and it lets other people speak for you so you don't look like you're bragging.
Is there a, I guess, easy approach to asking your clients to say, hey, could you please send me a testimonial? Like what's the process? Like what process does that look like?
Right. Reputation management is another part of, social media and that whole world. And I don't know if there is a one-step process really for getting reviews. And sometimes that can be tricky, but I do say you won't get them unless you ask for them. Right. Yes, people will love your brand, but most of the time when people write reviews, it's because they're angry about something. So when you've got a loyal client or a great partner that you work with, being sure to, even if it is just a quick email, hey, we love working with you. We appreciate, your partnership. It really means so much to us if you're able to just give us a review on Google, and just send them the direct link. Make it easy for them. There are several tools out there as well that help with review solicitation. That's something that we also help manage for some clients at Priority Marketing. But there really are a lot of avenues that you could go, but it could be just as simple as sending an email to someone as a follow-up, especially if you know that they were happy with your service.
Yeah. And I would definitely say, at least from my past experience, being very timely on those asks is also really important as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, timeliness is everything. That's the same thing for social media when it comes to responding to your fans or responding to questions. Timeliness is very crucial. And even with the reviews that you get on Facebook, be sure to at least give them a like, even if they're, because sometimes people think you only respond to the negative ones. I think it's important to respond to all of them in some fashion, even if it's just thank you for the 5-star recommendation. That goes a long way. Once again, when people see your reviews on Facebook, usually when they search for your name, those are the top things that pop up on Google. They'll see those reviews. So if they see you responded to, maybe just this one positive review, but you left out that really negative one, it doesn't look very good. So it's always good to think of your reputation as a whole and saying, thank you for, the ones who, if they say something positive, but also addressing those that maybe, hey, we can help you, work through this. What can we do? We appreciate your feedback, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So obviously kind of sticking with the topic of, reputation and replying back, is that something that you should still follow the 80-20 rule of like, hey, I need to spend X amount of time on my actual content, and then another percentage of time I should spend kind of replying back or engaging with the people who are already engaging with me?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's 100% of the time, unfortunately. When it comes to social media monitoring, that's a whole nother, community management, that's absolutely crucial. And timeliness, even Facebook itself, just for that platform specifically, its algorithm, it puts you higher on its algorithm with your fans when you are more responsive with them. So if you are engaging, liking comments on posts, if you are making sure that you have a good response time, that's why those auto replies are helpful, but you want to be sure that you do actually follow up with that, because if someone sees an auto reply and then a week later you actually get back to them, that doesn't look very good. So it still counts against your actual response time. So yes, it's very important. You need to be monitoring daily. If you can't monitor daily, make sure you're checking in at least 2 or 3 times a week, especially if you know that, if you're posting more frequently, which they, recommend, you should be posting at least, 3 to 4 times a week, especially depending on the platform. But yeah, it's a huge part of that community management as well, is being responsive. And that again shows your company culture. Hey, we saw that you commented. We do care about what you have to say.
Awesome. Well, let's shift gears just a little bit. Still talking obviously about your company culture through social media. What's one thing that you're worried about social media? It could be in the near future, in the far future, but what's something that's kind of, you're worried about and top of mind?
That is a big question. There's always something, I feel like, going on with social media. You always have to stay on top of all the trends and changes and algorithm, unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that's been in the news lately with certain platforms, and whether, it's fake news or whatever. And so I think for me, it might even just be user fatigue, because you got to think, if we ourselves, if I ever feel fatigued when I'm on my own social platforms, while I'm not working, our users or our fans are probably feeling that way too, if they're taking a break from it. So how can we help alleviate that for them, right? If someone is having fatigue, how can we be that positive spotlight in their feed, right? And so that's kind of the goal with showcasing your company culture, is to kind of show them, hey, we're the positive thing, we're the reason why it's okay to check back on your Facebook feed, it's not all negative, right?
Awesome. Well, let's kind of end on a more happy question. What's something that excites you about social media looking into the future?
I guess it excites me and worries me, but I do love the fact that social media is always evolving. It's always changing, like TikTok and, with Clubhouse, and now everyone kind of going into this audio trend as well. Podcasts are booming back again, so really the social digital world just continues to evolve. So I'm excited to see kind of where it goes next. And really to see, I think, how the audio rooms evolve and if they stick around. Yeah.
Before we wrap up here, is there anything else that you would like to say to our listeners, maybe about social media in general?
Well, if you have any questions, our team is full service. So we would be happy to answer any of your questions, to help give you guidance, whether it's performing a social media audit for your current platforms, or coming on alongside you, partnering with you to help you come up with your own plans, to figure out what your business needs are, and find an approach for you that could be, effective and the right solutions. And, because I don't think social media is one size fits all. So your company doesn't need to be on every platform. So sometimes it's even finding out, okay, maybe getting a little guidance to say, okay, well, we're on this platform, but does that fit our demo? Does that fit our audience? And that's kind of what we do as part of our social media audits, is helping people look at either what they are currently on, what they're doing, what works, what doesn't work. And so that's a big part of our process at Priority Marketing. So I think it's always good to take that step back and say, okay, even for yourself, even if you're not going to get a social media audit performed, do one yourself, and look at what are we doing, what works, what doesn't.
Is there a specific link or phone number that they should reach out to you directly if they have any follow-up questions?
Absolutely. So you could always head to prioritymarketing.com. You could call us at 239-267-2638 or email us at info@prioritymarketing.com.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Megan.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
If you enjoyed listening to this episode, make sure to click that subscribe button so you never miss another show. Join other professionals looking to grow their business with Southwest Florida Inc. at SWFLinc.com and sign up for a free membership today. Thanks so much for listening to Business Builders. We'll see you next time.